How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the family of Breonna Taylor receiving a $12 million settlement in their wrongful death lawsuit against the city of Louisville, Kentucky. Now, there's a whole lot to quote unquote unpack here, as the cool kids would say. I want to say a lot about this case, but I got to start from the beginning so you understand who Breonna Taylor is and why this case is important. First things first, Breonna Taylor was 26 years old, living in Louisville, Kentucky. She was shot and killed by the police during a raid on her house. Now, the media are phrasing it in a way that did not actually happen. I have evidence, I have documents. Shout out to my brother, Breonna Taylor. Go to the link in the box. You can see everything, all the documents on TaylorReport.com. Everything is right there. Shout out to him. Not in that at all. That's just where it's at. Okay, I think Taylor Report had it before anybody else, but check it out right there. This is all documented. The media are saying that Breonna Taylor, she was a 26-year-old EMT sleeping in her bed, and then the police, they barged in, no knock warrant, and then shot her in her sleep. And a lot of people just ate that up. People on the left, right, center saying, oh, well, I agree with BLM being out there protesting for Breonna Taylor because she was the only one that didn't do anything. It's like, no. You're believing what the media is telling you. You're believing what you're being fed, but you're not looking at the actual reality of the whole situation. Let's look at the truth. Let's look at documents. Okay, her own boyfriend, the guy that was actually there with her in the house, that shot at the police, he said a different thing than what the media are saying. And the police say something different than what the media are saying. There's more in common with the police and the boyfriend than the media and the boyfriend. You understand what I'm saying? So the media say one thing, innocent, didn't do anything, EMT, laying in the bed, shot, killed for no reason. The actual documents say that there was a no-knock warrant, but they did not use it. They knocked on the door and identified themselves. The boyfriend shot at the police through the door, and then the police returned fire. Now, unfortunately, Breonna Taylor was hit, I think, 8 or 9 times. She was not in the bed sleep. How are you going to get shot 8 times in the bed from the front door? It doesn't make any sense. They were both in the hallway. According to the boyfriend's own words, they were both right there in the hallway. Now, word on the street is that he used her as a human shield. That might be true, might be false. I have no idea. What I do know is that he did not get shot at all, and she got hit 8 times. How did that happen? I have no idea. But she was not in her bed. She was not an innocent person. Her name was on the warrant, and she was not an EMT. And she was involved in the dope game. She had been fired from being the EMT, I think banned from becoming the EMT again, because a van that she rented or some car that she rented had a dead body found in it. Somebody was killed or they died. I'm not really sure what happened. And a dead body was found in that car. Now, I don't know if Breonna Taylor killed that person or somebody she knows killed the person. But when that was discovered, the dead body in the car that she rented, it was like, okay, well, you can't be here anymore. We can't bring you up on charges. We don't have evidence for that, but you're not really doing something right. She was involved with the dope game. There's surveillance, video, pictures, all of that of her being involved with the dope game, going back and forth to the quote unquote trap house where the drugs are made, distributed, stored, whatever you want to call it. On the night when Breonna Taylor had the warrant executed on her home, when the police came, there was 2 warrants executed simultaneously, one on her home and the other on the trap house or her boyfriend's house. Could be the same thing. The ex-boyfriend, current boyfriend, or whatever. She had a few boyfriends. There was one guy with her in the house that talked to the police and said something different than what the media said. Then it was the ex-boyfriend or whatever at the trap spot at the other house that got raided. At the trap house, they found guns, drugs, money, all of that right there. So this whole thing about her being totally innocent was just not true. But she got paid out regardless of what. Now, I'm not surprised she got paid out. This is pretty much par for the course. Okay, once you got guys like Benjamin Crump coming in, you know what time it is. Benjamin Crump has been the lawyer for a lot of these so-called victims of police brutality that happen to be black. I think he was there with George Floyd, Jacob Blake, possibly, Breonna Taylor. And I think his first big case was Trayvon Martin. He doesn't win cases. I don't know a case that he's won that involved any of these victims of police brutality or so-called victims of police brutality or white vigilante in case of Trayvon Martin, whatever they want to call Zimmerman, an Hispanic guy who was not an officer. Benjamin Crump is always there. And I see the game for what it is, because here's what's going on. Generally, these black families don't have any money for a legitimate lawyer to give what Benjamin Crump has. He has access to all kind of resources, money, a big team. They can't afford that on their own. So he'll come in pro bono, not even get paid, but his objective is to get the money on the back end as part of the civil lawsuit. That's all it's about. Okay, so out of that 12 million, he might get 30%, but to this person between him and his team of lawyers that come through and do whatever they got to do. All right. That's how it usually works. He has a big profile. He goes on TV. He does speeches. He's like Al Sharpton in 2020, but a lawyer that's out there, getting the back end of settlement money. That's pretty much his whole game. He's not really out there to win cases. He's out there to just be litigious and get paid on the back that way. So when I saw him, I knew what time it was. Like, okay, they're trying to get a lawsuit and win. And I don't think that they'll actually be charged or anything, meaning the officers it is. You see kind of like a meme at this point on the internet. It'll be something where it's kind of like clickbait. And then it'll say, arrested cops that killed Breonna Taylor. It'd be like best hairstyles 2020. And then once you get to it, it'd be a half hour of arrested cops that killed Breonna Taylor or something stupid. It's like a meme. So that's kind of like a gag, like being rickrolled. You understand? And it's for no reason, because the cops didn't do anything wrong. Now, there's pressure on the Attorney General in Kentucky, Daniel Cameron, who I met at Black Voices for Trump. He's a black guy and a conservative, so it's a lot of pressure on his back to charge the officers. But I don't think that he will or that he should. Couple of signs. First of all, when you have a civil case and a wrongful death or whatever, that's usually something that happens after a criminal case. Okay, when the criminal case don't work, they go to the civil and they get money on the back. That was the whole OJ template. That's usually how it goes. You generally don't have press conferences with the mayor where they come out and say, okay, we're going to give you X amount of money. And it's usually not even disclosed that kind of way. It kind of leaks, or you don't really know how much it is, undisclosed amount. He said, we've given Breonna Taylor's family $12 million. All right. Then he said, we're going to have police do different kind of training and go to volunteer on the clock. And we're going to have more guidance counselors or whatever, mental health professionals. They're doing some of that defunding the police type rhetoric without actually defunding the police. They're going to do that and then give Breonna Taylor's family some money. But there was nothing about the officers being charged. He was just saying, we're waiting on Mr. Cameron to make that decision. But for right now, we're going to do this. If Cameron is doing the right thing, he would not charge these officers. What did they do that was wrong? Okay, the boyfriend shot at the officers first, and they shot back. Why didn't he get hit? Like, if you are shooting at somebody, right, and you're kind of stationary, you're not really going to be doing much moving around. If you're shooting at the officers and they shoot back, why don't you get hit at all, but your girlfriend get hit 8 times? How does it really work? Because all you got to do is just return fire in the same direction in which it came. So all 8 bullets just happened to hit her and nothing hit him. How does that really happen? Okay. There's some questions that need to be asked and answered here. All right. But beyond that, I think the BLM people don't really care if she gets quote unquote justice or not. They don't care if the cops get arrested, because it'll be the next person. If it ain't Breonna Taylor, it's Jacob Blake, it's George Floyd, it's somebody else. They're riding out there in Lancaster for a guy that had a knife and tried to stab an officer, clear as day on body cam footage, okay, who had just stabbed 4 other people the year before, and for some reason was not in the penitentiary, serving some serious time, and was allowed to be on the streets and try to stab somebody else. I mean, there's always going to be the next Breonna Taylor. I remember for a while with Sandra Bland, say her name. And by the way, don't say her name. That's some witchcraft type stuff. You're trying to conjure some spirits. Don't say her name, but I'll move on. My whole point here is that it'll always be somebody else. So maybe BLM will riot, maybe they won't, but they're always riot. They're always out here doing different things. I think Dan Cameron should just not give in to the mob and do what's right. I don't see any evidence of the officers being charged. The only thing I saw that could be disputed is whether the officer said, they stop, freeze, or we're the police. Or the main point I want to get across here is that these wrongful death lawsuits are the main thing these ambulance chasers are after. They don't care about winning. They can lose all they want to. As long as they get their money, they go on to the next. That's how Benjamin Crump is. That's how Black Lives Matter is. They don't really care too much about Breonna Taylor or anybody else. They're caring about their money. It's unfortunate that she's dead. She can rest in peace. But see, when you're involved in the dope game, when you're doing the wrong things in the world, when you're not behaving properly, these kinds of things happen. It's really unfortunate, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that the money given to Breonna Taylor's family was justified? And that's your viewpoint. Let me know why in the comments below. Or was it not justified? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. You guys know where I stand. It was not justified, but very predictable. This is the whole point of these ambulance chasers. They're trying to get money. They don't care about winning. They don't care about having these cops go to jail, or they don't. That's a byproduct. If they can just sue without pressing charges, they probably would. If it costs less to sue, like substantially less to sue and then not press charges, they probably would do it. They'll just say, oh, we live in a white supremacist world. We won't get a fair trial, but we can get the money. That'd be how to justify it. I would not be surprised if that option were available. People would take it. It's all about cash. You got this guy coming in from out of town with a bunch of money. You don't have no money. You broke. You're trying to pay bills. He's saying, hey, you know what? We can get you $10 million in like 6 months to a year. You with it or no? They're pretty much going to say yeah. And it's like you're exploiting these families all for your personal benefit. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.